Christian life for the man is becoming increasingly not just difficult but impossible to live without an encounter with Jesus Christ fully. But the truth of the matter is, worship is beyond sound. John 4:23-24. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. In the middle of the crisis, there is always hope when we know how to worship. Paul and Silas, they were together, they were bleeding because they had been beaten separately. And the Bible says they started praising God, and the prisoners heard them. Of course, you know the story. There was an earthquake, and they were delivered. They were set free. Abraham said, let us go yonder, or let us go to that side to go and worship. So in these stories, you will never find music there. What makes music worship is not just the sound, but the attitude and the understanding of what you're saying, what you're doing. See, there's a difference between emotions and worship. Worship is not just singing, because there was no orchestra on the mountain. And yet, Abraham described that act of sacrifice as worship. The word worship originally has a connotative reference to 7 things that I will run through. Number 1, it is an act of obedience. Number 2, it means act of sacrifice. Worship means act of sacrifice. How much are you willing to sacrifice? Your time, your money, your resources. Number 3, it also means act of surrender. When you surrender all. Number 4, worship means act of giving in honor. Then this 5th one is act of humility. And the 6th one is act of reverential fear of God. So there's a slavery fear, then there's a reverential fear of God. Number 7, the act of service. When you serve in the local church, you serve in the various departments. It's amazing that when we say let us go and worship, the first thing everybody thinks about is music. When you give your offering to the Lord, when you give your tithe, when you give 20%, 50%, 100%, that is worship. In fact, when your wife is talking blah 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 blah, and the other says, just go and give her a hug, tell her I love her. I'm so sorry, honey, I don't know what came upon me. You just worshipped. There are some men here who worship God looking at everything I just talked about. Act of obedience, act of sacrifice, surrender, giving, honor, humility, and all of that. But there are some men who don't do that, and on top of it, they discourage those who are doing it. That is why we must be very careful about the friends we're hanging out with. He that walks with a wife, Proverbs 13 verse 20 shall be wise, but the companion of fools will be destroyed. It is not just difficult and impossible to really worship in the spirit consistently, except you have consistent encounter with Jesus Christ. I'll be deceiving you, and I'll be lying to you, and I'll be an hypocrite to say and give the impression that it's always going to be easy. If it's always going to be easy, why do we have the word sacrifice in the Bible? You cannot really submit or worship God consistently in your self-effort, in your strength. It's not going to happen. You can achieve it for a while, but you're going to cave in under pressure.